Ooh, yeah, baby. Yo, we're live. What's up? I always got to do an audio check just to make sure my microphone is good to go on Twitter and YouTube. You give me like 5 more seconds. I just need to know the audio's good.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, sir.
We're live. What's up?
All right, we're going for it. Who's ready to talk about this thing? Trump is tariffing Hollywood. Let's do this. Are you ready? Are you ready? We got 7 people in here right now. 8 people. Hell yeah. The 8th person's probably me. Here we go. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. Trump is tariffing Hollywood? What's up, everyone? It's America Plus. I'm your host, Cole McCormick. It's another week, another episode. What's going on, everybody? Happy to be here. It's a wonderful week to be alive, folks. It's Sunday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. 5:35 in the p.m., guys. What a beautiful time to be alive. Okay, so I'm coming at you with insane energy right now, y'all. I just finished editing a video for my side gig. I'm feeling good with that. I accomplished something. I had some potatoes. I baked some potato. I'm feeling energized, dude. I'm feeling great. And then before I go on, so the plan was to always talk about movies this week because I saw a couple movies and I wanted to like talk about how like the movies are coming back. The movies are doing pretty good right now. We got an original movie making a lot of money. We got a Marvel movie that's actually really good. And all of a sudden we got Trump pulling out the big thing, dude. Like, look at this right now, dude. Donald J. Trump has come out with one of the most insane things that has ever come out of one of the most insane things that he's ever tweeted about. Check this out. We have to talk about this. New Hollywood tariffs. The movie, and this was tweeted like 40 minutes, an hour ago. The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our filmmakers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. This is a concerted effort by other nations and therefore a national security threat. It is in addition to everything else, messaging and propaganda. Therefore, I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. We want movies made in America. Holy Janolis, dude. What is going on here, man? That's crazy. That's an insane thing. So, right off the bat, does this mean that Disney movies that are made in London are being tariffed? Does this mean any movie, like if there's an Australian filmmaker and they somehow make a deal with an American distributor, there's going to be a tariff on that? That's wild, dude. Okay, so Department of Commerce, that's Lutnick, and then he's also saying the trade representative. I don't know who that is right now. This is a really big deal, and this is coming off of the backs of a phenomenal last 2 weeks within the movie theaters. If you haven't seen the movies yet, I would recommend to go see Sinners. That came out a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago, and then I just saw Thunderbolts last night, which was freaking legit. Okay. I know for a fact that Sinners was made in America. I don't think they went to any other foreign country. They definitely didn't go to Canada. They definitely did not go to the UK or anywhere or Australia. A lot of movies that takes place in like deserts, they sometimes film in Australia. But Sinners filmed in like Mississippi and Atlanta and California, I think. And then Thunderbolts, they filmed in Atlanta and the UK, I believe, and then a little bit in Utah. And so this goes into this broader conversation of Hollywood, quote unquote, dying, and other countries and states creating more tax incentives for productions to go there and to create movies. This is a big deal because if it comes to Disney, who is currently filming the new Avengers movies back to back in London, they're filming in London because of the tax incentives. When you film a movie in London, you are getting, I believe it's 25% of your budget back through tax incentives, which is a really big deal, dude. Really, really big deal. And how does America combat that? How do we do anything to combat that? I guess we can tariff the movie, a 100% tariff. So that's also pretty insane. So does that mean Avengers movies? Okay, let's just take Endgame for an example. Avengers Endgame cost like over $390 million to make, right? That's like that's the reported number. They're about to get a 100% tariff on that. That's going to be that's like $700 million. Almost, dude, that's almost 800 million. That's almost $1 billion, dude. And these numbers are barely reported. Like they always like downsize the numbers for some reason. I know that for a fact. All the Hollywood accounting stuff, like that's all fake, dude. That's all fake shit. And so Disney might be spending more money on that. So Disney might be paying double to release the movie, to release Avengers in America. That's crazy, dude. That's nuts. And I think I'm the first one to talk about this right now. I'm the only podcaster on the air right now, which is pretty exciting. What does this mean for me? What does this mean for you as like the viewers, as the moviegoers? What this means is that they're, at least like from Trump's perspective, I think he wants to make more incentives for movies to be made in America. You know, he says it right here. We want movies made in America again. You know, like every time you do any research about Hollywood and movies, the whole thing was about like how incredible California is and how diverse the landscape is and how the innovators within America were trying to like run away from people who were like stifling them. You know, a part of the big reason why Hollywood came to why movies came to California is because of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison, the inventor, he had this insane clinch on what type of projectors you could use and all the equipment. And so if people like moved away, if they moved west enough, they went out of the jurisdiction of those patents. And then so they were able to build a new industry with new equipment and new things, new patents, new contracts. And right now we're seeing people go away for somewhat similar reasons. You know, California, it's just so expensive to make a movie in California. We got clips of Rob Lowe and his co-star from, what is his name, Adam something, his co-star from Parks and Recreation, talking about how like it's a lot less expensive to make something in Budapest than it is to film it on the Fox studio lot in LA. It's cheaper. So everyone lives in LA, and it's cheaper to move everyone to a foreign country to film the thing than it is to stay and film their thing. That is the situation we're in. And we've seen some aspects of people going to Atlanta, people going to New Jersey, people going to New Mexico. Famously, Breaking Bad was filmed in New Mexico, not because of, artistic reasons. Maybe they wanted to use the desert and New Mexico just has the nice desert, but like realistically, Breaking Bad was filmed in New Mexico because of taxes. And so you got a good amount of states that are doing their best to compete with California, and they've been beating California. And just last week, California is about to pass a new bill to raise the tax incentive, to raise the tax breaks on Hollywood, and that's going to be a total of like $750 million, I believe, if my memory is correct. And we'll see how that works out. I mean, it just depends on how much these movies are being made for, and how many movies are being made in general. When it comes to okay, so the biggest studio, right, is Disney. The biggest studio is Disney. And that's in terms of like money, that's in terms of IP. Like they have the most and they make the most. Okay. And so they want to get the best bang for their buck. And the only things that Disney films are like their shitty TV shows that they film in like 6 months. Like they only film the TV shows that nobody watches, dude. Like the shitty Disney Channel movies film in California, the terrible whatever shows on Disney Plus. They most likely film in California. But if it's Marvel and if it's like a real movie and if it's anything big, they're going somewhere else. Back in the day, now Tom Cruise still does this, but back in the day, you used to go to a different country to film a movie because you wanted the environment, because you wanted a certain geography, because you wanted a certain architecture, and you wanted that to be in the film. You wanted to give your film a certain type of accent, But now it's all just money. Now it's all just contracts. So things are getting really tight. Things are getting really like Hollywood's being pushed into a corner, dude. And that's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. I, for one, I would like more movies to be filmed in America, because what that means for me is, as a person who wants to make movies, I've made a couple short films. I've shared a short film on one of these streams before. I made the short films for free with my friends, but the goal has always been to make movies, And now I'm in a place where I'm sort of like trying to reorganize myself and reorganize my artistic stuff of like, what am I really aiming for? Because as the years have gone on, I moved out to LA in 2017, and I have personally seen Hollywood crumbling. I have seen this industry just decrease in numbers. And it's been really surreal, So I got out here in 2017. I got hired at Warner Brothers Studios as a tour guide. And that's me actually working on the lot. And I actually worked on a television show. I was able to work on the Conan O'Brien show, which was an incredible experience. And so I would go back and forth between like giving a tour and then working on Conan, right? And late in like 2019, things were just getting like less. Like there were less productions going on. When I first got hired, there seemed to be a good amount of productions going on. And, of course, like COVID sped everything up, and people were trying to save money. People were trying to go to where the restrictions were less. And California had really heavy restrictions during COVID. And so they would want to film in Arizona. They would want to film in New Mexico and Texas, in Oklahoma, where in Atlanta. Like the only reason there was any Marvel movies made during the pandemic is because they filmed in Atlanta, and Atlanta had less strict COVID policies. And then it was up to the individual production company to institute extra, you know? It was one of those things. But ultimately, nobody was filming in California specifically because of the COVID restrictions and the cost to align yourself with those restrictions. So many people. I know a few people who were on set and they were COVID monitors. That was their position, COVID monitor, and they got paid. But then that position ended as soon as the restrictions were lifted, and no one else got hired for anything for any other position, and people were just trying to survive. You know, people that were filming during COVID, they were doing their best to just like finish the thing. You know, it wasn't like they wanted to be there; they were just trying to finish the thing, which is so crazy. And so California definitely shot themselves in the foot during that era because people just like were looking for better deals. And then during that same time, other states and other countries saw that opportunity and said, well, hey, you know, like we don't have as heavy restrictions here. And we're actually like, we just passed a brand new tax incentive. So how about you come over here? Which is a really big deal. If you could save 25% of your budget, and all you had to do was just go to a different area, dude, a lot of people are taking that deal. A lot of people. And we're seeing that in the normal businesses. You know, we're seeing that in whatever other businesses are leaving California. You know, Tesla is like the biggest example. A lot of tech is moving away from California into Texas, into Austin, into Arizona. California is just way too expensive. You need to raise everyone's salaries, and then you need to just pay more for whatever else you're doing. It's not just about the salaries. It's about the environment that is the production, because you have to feed everyone, you know? So food is more expensive in California. It's less expensive in other places. And so you're saving money on many, many areas of the entire system of how to make a movie, you know? And this is a big deal. So as I read this right now, as I read this announcement, I agree with Trump that Hollywood is dying. The movie industry in America is dying. I don't know how tariffing 100% of the money. I mean, the way I'm reading it right now, like the amount of money that's being spent on a movie, 100% of that will be an extra tax to bring that movie into America, which is a huge deal. I don't know how that's going to happen. I imagine Disney's going to have to make a deal. Bob Iger is going to have to do something pretty drastically right now. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see how that works out. But I don't know how else to talk about that, man. Like that's a really big deal. Who are the other CEOs? Like there's not a lot of other CEOs that have as much sway as Bob Iger. Like Bob Iger. But okay, so for Disney again, dude, Bob Iger is in this insane position, CEO of Disney. First of all, he's trying to save Disney because that shit's crumbling too, the whole brand and everything. And now he's going to have to negotiate with Trump on tariffs. Like what? Can you imagine being 70 years old and you got to have to beg the president to not tax your movie 100%? That's insane. That's really insane. David Zasloff, I'm thinking about the CEO of Warner Brothers right now. They make their movies. Okay, so let me just talk about the movies that I saw this past week. So Sinners was a Warner Brothers movie directed by Ryan Coogler. This movie's incredible. This movie's awesome. This movie filmed in the United States of America. And so I'm leaning into saying Sinners is like a goddamn great American masterpiece, dude. Sinners is an American masterpiece, dude. Like that's for real, dude. Shout out to Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler's legit, dude. Sinners was amazing. Go see Sinners. Go see Sinners right now. Sinners is worth your money, okay? So, but between Sinners and the new Marvel movie Thunderbolts, They're both worth your money, but I'm going to tell you to go see Sinners. That is the real recommendation. It's 1930s. There's a twist. It's bloody. It's a little spooky, and it's just really well made. Really, really well made. I don't want to spoil anything. I think the trailer sort of gives it away. There's some interdimensional stuff going on with Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld, but ultimately, man, it's just a good old fashioned movie, man. Like when I was sitting in the theater, I saw it in IMAX. I'm privileged enough to see films on film on 70 millimeter film in the IMAX at Universal Studios. That's an experience I love to have. I saw that. I saw Tenet there. I saw Interstellar there. When they re-released it, I saw what else did I see there? What else was released on? Oppenheimer. When Oppenheimer was released on 70 millimeter. This type of IMAX film experience is so special, and to see Sinners, to see not just a re-release, not just a Nolan movie, but a new original film from a young director. Ryan Coogler, he did the Creed movie. Creed. He did the first two Black Panther movies, and I think he's about to make the third one soon. Very talented guy. Very talented. His movies have strong ideals and like strong morals and strong messages. And a lot of his films have centered around ancestors and the morality around honoring your ancestors and how you engage with them and how you move forward. And it's just that's a very interesting thing. The way he's gone about these things is very good. Very, very good. So go see Sinners. That's a great American film. And Thunderbolts is good too, man. But if you want the Marvel experience, go see Thunderbolts. It's entertaining. If you like Marvel, you're gonna love Thunderbolts. But if you're not that into Marvel, if you don't really care, like it's good, but like go see Sinners. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we'll see how that all works out, dude. Like that's incredible, right? Trump's been going on a wild tariff rampage, and he's making deals with all these different countries. He's trying to reorganize the economic structure, Earth's economic structure. That's what Trump is doing. And, Hollywood is a part of that. To my memory, there's a movie that came out last year with Dev Patel. He's an Indian guy. It's like a John Wick movie, but it's Dev Patel. It's like an Indian version of John Wick. And that was filmed in India. And one of the biggest, or at least I'm not sure if it was filmed in India, but it was about like people from India. And Hollywood wants to make a whole huge deal about making movies about other cultures and doing all these things. And they really have been ignoring American culture. They really have been ignoring like the domestic side of things. I think one of the issues with Hollywood is that it's gotten too global. As the economy has become globalized, it seems as though our entertainment has also been globalized. Not just in the way that it's been made, but in the way that the stories are crafted. And that's something that I don't fully agree with. It's something that I'm empathetic to. I'm empathetic to the idea that we should represent other cultures with our films. If America is the biggest guy putting out the best and the biggest movies, then maybe America has a responsibility to shine a light on other cultures. That's something I can agree with. But at the same time, it's just not equal. Like it's not an even balance. Like Hollywood has all these morals, but they don't really believe in anything. Hollywood, who said that in La La Land? Ryan Gosling said that in La La Land. Like LA is a place where Hollywood worships everything, but believes in nothing. Like that's a real fucking statement, dude. That's a real statement. So we'll see how Hollywood responds to this. I would imagine Hollywood doesn't want to respond, or they're sort of caught in between these things of hating Donald Trump, but also trying to work with Trump, which is low-key amazing. Trump could just like ignore this industry. He could just let the industry die and just let movies be made somewhere else. But he's actually sticking his neck out to an industry that actually hates him. Hollywood actually hates Trump. And Hollywood dying, like quote unquote dying, is one of these things. It's like an unspoken truth. There's conversations about like whenever a celebrity makes a movie for Netflix, right? Netflix has been very outwardly against putting movies in movie theaters. Netflix's position is that the future of movies and entertainment is in your home. And, classic Hollywood, classic studios, actors who have been around for decades, every actor pretty much, the movie theater is really important to them. And yet there's so much work with Netflix and that shit's not in the movie theater. And then they try to make a movie for the movie theater and it doesn't do very well. And it doesn't do very well, but the only way they can make that movie is if they went somewhere else, is if they went to a different state, if they went to a different country, And so I would love for there to be a marketplace where different states are competing to make movies, because maybe Hollywood shouldn't be centralized. Maybe Hollywood should be a bit more decentralized. That sounds like a good idea to me. What if it was as accessible to make a movie in your hometown, like a professional movie, dude? What if it was accessible to make a professional movie to be put in the movie theaters in your home state? What if we didn't have to move? What would that look like? Would that be a big deal? Would that hurt? Who would that really hurt? Because all that's changing is culture in that example, because like in reality, what's changing is culture and the economics. And I think we got to try to strengthen the domestic economics of how we make a movie so that there can actually be an American film industry, because America is the place where the best art is produced. Andy Warhol, American. You know what I mean? Steven Spielberg, American. Ryan Coogler, American. Who else? Denzel Washington, American. Who else do I want to say? Charlie Chaplin, American. Who else do we got here? Well, like Harrison Ford, American. Like, these people are quintessentially American, and the world loves them for that. This pioneering spirit, this artistic flair. Good and bad, Bill Cosby, American. Woody Allen, American. Kanye West, yay, American. We have the best fucking artists. We have the absolute best. R. Kelly, American. You know what I mean? No one does it like America, man. No one does it. George motherfucking Lucas, American. It's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, dude. George Lucas channeled God when he made Star Wars. And we're not supposed to think that the culture of America didn't influence that at all. I think it did. Of course, everyone is their own individual and we all have our own way of expressing ourselves, but I firmly believe your environment also implies how you create within the world. And America is this, they call it a boiling pot, right? America is like a stew. America is like this melting pot. And dude, it's up to you to make a good flavor or not. It's up to you to make a good dish. George Lucas made a great dish. Ryan Coogler made a good dish using the culture of America. That's incredible. That's really incredible. And I'm inspired by that. That's something that I want to engage with, that I want to do. That's why we're talking about it here on America Plus, dude. America Plus is about like contrarian innovation. Trump is the ultimate contrarian. Can he bring back Hollywood? Can Hollywood make a deal with Donald Trump? What states, and I'm just like guessing here, I'm just sort of like talking out loud. What states are going to step up and try to bring back the Marvel movies? The biggest Marvel movies are filmed in London. Star Wars movies are filmed in London. Dune was filmed in, I don't know where the fuck Dune was filmed. Not in America. Not in America. We got to bring Dune to America. We got to bring Star Wars to America. Like, which is so crazy for me to think about. I can't believe that's just not the case. So we need this. Pray for America. Pray for Hollywood. Pray for Hollywood. And what the funny thing is that so Trump is making Hollywood work with him. If Hollywood doesn't work with him, then they really that's the side they picked, huh? They really picked the side of killing an American industry. They're turning themselves into Detroit. That's what happens if Hollywood doesn't work with Trump. But if they work with Trump, then we have a chance. America has a chance to sustain our greatness as artistic outputs. That's what I want to see. So I'm praying that the studios make a deal with Trump. I'm praying that states make a deal with Trump. That's a big deal that needs to happen. That's a really big deal. So tell me what you think, man. I would love to know your thoughts. That's pretty much all I got, dude. Let's go into value for value. Value for value. America Plus is a value for value show. What that means is I do my best to bring forward a conversation I think is important for the world, and you can reciprocate that value in whatever way you like: time, talent, treasure. I like the Fountain.fm app, by the way.
Go to value4value.info for more info, then download the Fountain.fm app. It's the best way to support the show.
Fountain.fm is a podcasting app that you can download and send me small bits of Bitcoin if you want to support the show financially. I also have a PayPal if you want to send me any money. I got my tips up on Twitter as well. Time and talent, if you want to retweet me, engage with me, send in any comments, retweet me, do whatever you like with that. This is that's really what value for value is, man. I usually read the boostagrams, but right now I got 0 boostagrams from the last 7 days. I have one from last week, but I read that live. So that's technically not a real thing. It's not from this week. So right now there's no boostagrams, which is okay. It's okay, but it's value for value. I'm going to continue live streaming on X and YouTube for as long as I possibly can. I think live streaming is really important. So if you're on X, if you're on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. This is what I do, and we're just going to keep on talking about it. I want to continue the conversation with you and see what you have to say. So comment down below, DM me. I want to hear what you have to say, and maybe we can make a movie together. Maybe we can innovate together. This is about looking for the best aspects of American culture, looking for the best version of ourselves in this moment of time. That's what America Plus is. So, yeah, man. That's value for value. I always end the show with a value for value song. Let me share. Okay, hang on. Let me share another page. How do I do this? Press stop sharing. Replace it. Let me go to. Which one do I want? This one. Henry, no one knows by Henry Invisible. So I always end the show with a value for value song. I'm on this platform called Wavelake. Wavelake lets musicians upload their music and attach a Bitcoin wallet to their song. And so I'm hooking this up to my podcast and I'm giving this artist a 90% split of Satoshi donations. So if you're in the podcast app, Fountain or any other modern podcast app, and you're listening to this after it's published, as soon as the song begins, Henry Invisible, one of my favorite artists, is getting 90% of your Satoshi donation. And this song's actually really good. It's called No One Knows, and enjoy.
Spinning round, are we just guessing? Without a doubt, still we search for higher ground. Someday maybe we will be found, but for now it's all a days. living up in this haze, caught up in the crazy maze. Look out. Let's dance into the unknown. Find our love and rhythm, make it home. One thing I know for sure, no one really knows. Every answer's just a guess. In this chaos, such a mess. Hearts be beating, feeling distress. Maybe no tomorrow, tomorrow maybe yes. And everybody's searching for a sign, but the more we try to find, the more we leave behind. Let's dance into the unknown. Find a little love and rhythm, make it home. One thing I know for sure, no one really knows. Sure, knowing no one really knows. Yeah. Knowing no one really knows. Knowing no one really knows. Knowing no one really knows.
That's America Plus, bitch. Stay free. Booyah. Nice, dude. Whew. Crazy time to be alive, dude. Crazy time. What do you think about that, bro? Boo-doo-doo-doo. Do-do-do-do. I can't believe that was real. I can't believe Hollywood's getting stuck. Getting stuck in their ways. Do-do-do-do. 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 Dude, everyone's freaking out about this. Hollywood Reporter's freaking out. I'm about to see a bunch of other people who hate Trump freak out. We're about to see a bunch of people deny that Hollywood's not really dying. Meanwhile, which is hilarious. Good times, man. Good times. All right, I think I'm gonna end the stream there, dude. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. I'll be back next week. Peace out.